Welcome to Season 4 of Dr. Scott's Game Closet, and I have something really special for you today. You wouldn't think that a failed game console would garner so much love, but the Sega Dreamcast is 25 years old today, and we're going to celebrate by showing you 11 of my favorite Dreamcast games. I will share a couple of very special memories about my Dreamcast too, and I guarantee you will love what I have to show you. So stick around until the very end, because the payoff is huge. I promise. For me? He think? It's 1999 and I went to my favorite local gaming shop, Flashback Video Games in Amherst, Ohio, founded by Mr. Pete Costello and his wife, Debbie. I absolutely loved this store and the owners. They were like family to me. They had a unique store, and at the time, there was nothing like it anywhere. When the Sega Dreamcast came out, I saw a game that blew my mind, and it was the reason I had to have the Dreamcast, Toy Commander. This is my original copy of Toy Commander that I purchased from Flashback in December 1999. I scored a steal on my Dreamcast. My friend worked at the Exchange in Elyria, Ohio, and got a 45% discount on the console because some guy traded it in unopened. This guy's girlfriend bought it for him as a gift, but he wanted a PlayStation instead, so he traded it in while she stood there fuming, tapping her foot. Now, since it was technically used, my friend called me right away and said, grab $100 and get over here right now. And that's how I ended up with a brand new Dreamcast at a fraction of the price. So basically, I should be thanking that idiot guy's girlfriend. Thanks, sweetie. I hope you dumped him soon after. As soon as I bought my Dreamcast, I headed to Flashback to get a couple of games, and Toy Commander was the first that I added to my collection. Toy Commander was released in November 1999, and for a 25-year-old game, you can see how beautiful it still is, and this game was ahead of its time. You step into a pint-sized world of chaos in Toy Commander. This Dreamcast gem transports you into the imagination of a young boy playing with his toys, and his home transforms into a battlefield where the toy soldiers, cars, and even planes clash in epic battles across a child's bedroom, kitchen, and backyard. As the Toy Commander, you'll command a diverse arsenal of miniature warriors from jet planes and helicopters to ground vehicles. Race against the clock, soar through the air in daring dogfights, or dominate the ground with powerful tanks. The game's vibrant visuals and imaginative level design bring this miniature world to life with a lighthearted twist on a tiny reality. With strategic gameplay, challenging missions, and multiplayer mayhem, Toy Commander is a nostalgic blast from the past that captures the imagination and creativity of childhood. It's a must-play for Dreamcast enthusiasts and fans of unique gaming experiences. That's why I love it. It's held up for 25 years, and you can see exactly why.
We're back! It's Crazy Taxi 2!
The original Crazy Taxi is one of the wildest rides you could ever take in an arcade vehicle. In 2000, I bought it for my Dreamcast, and in 2001, Crazy Taxi 2 stepped everything up a notch. The second game added 2 new cities, Around Apple and Small Apple, and now you have the ability to pick up multiple passengers that can be dropped off at different locations. The game's unique gameplay mechanics made it incredibly addictive. I played this thing for hours. You can perform a variety of stunts like jumps, spins, and power slides to earn bonus points and speed up your journey. The soundtrack is an energetic mix of punk, rock, and techno that perfectly complements the fast-paced action, in my opinion. Now, I can't let you hear any of that because of copyright reasons. What the bloody fuck ever. It's not like I own the music. With its over-the-top gameplay, catchy soundtrack that I can't let you hear, and colorful visuals, Crazy Taxi 2 is a classic arcade racer that still is as fun to play today as it was when it first came out. There's no shortage of shooters or shmups on the Dreamcast, and Mars Matrix is one of many great ones on the console. Mars Matrix is a vertically scrolling shooter that's sure to satisfy your need for speed and action. As a lone spaceship pilot, you take on hordes of alien invaders in a series of intense battles. Well, You know, this is kind of like most shmups, right? I mean, aliens, shooting, speed, pulling your hair out. Well, that's what I do. Now, what I'm about to describe pretty much describes just about any shmup. Of course, they all are unique in their own way, but Mars Matrix just has that something that doesn't make me want to put an ice pick in my eye. You can move your ship in 8 different directions, making it easier to dodge enemy attacks and position yourself for powerful shots. Now, the game also features a variety of weapons and power-ups that you can collect to enhance your firepower. Sound familiar? The visuals are stunning, the gameplay is addictive, and yes, I can sit here and play this one for hours and hours, and, well, I can actually survive for a while. And it has challenging boss battles. This is the one to get, because guess what? You can actually play it for 5 minutes and, well, you can actually play it for 5 minutes. Just get the damn game. Cannon Spike is a multi-directional shooter that combines platforming elements with intense gunfights. With up to 7 playable Capcom characters, including Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins and Lin Kurosawa from Alien vs. Predator, you'll traverse a series of stages, blasting your way through hordes of enemies using a variety of powerful weapons. The game's innovative gameplay mechanics allow you to switch between different weapons on the fly, giving you a wide range of options to take down your foes. You'll also need to use your platforming skills to navigate dangerous terrain and avoid traps. I would like to add that there is one glaring downfall of the Dreamcast that hurts this game, and it's the lack of a second analog stick, so Cannon Spike could have been a true twin-stick shooter. This would have added so much more to the gameplay, but it is what it is, and the game doesn't suffer too much from this omission. It didn't stop me and my 2 sons, Cameron and Warren, from playing this game ad nauseum. The action is in your face, it's a colorful game, and the characters are memorable. Cannon Spike is a must-play for fans of multi-directional shooters and platformers alike. Trust me, it's a shooter that you don't want to miss out on. Co-op gameplay never looked so good on the Sega Dreamcast. When it comes to nostalgia on the Sega Dreamcast, probably the first game that comes to mind is Sonic Adventure 2. Sure, the first Sonic game is fine, but Sonic Adventure 2 has the catchy music that I can't show you because of copyright reasons, and the crazy taxi-like San Francisco-inspired street surfing and car bashing that made kids and adults alike play this game for hours. While playing on the hero side, you can play as Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles, and playing on the dark side, you can play as Shadow, Eggman, and Rogue the Bat, all with unique abilities. The game features a variety of levels, from fast-paced racing stages to puzzle-filled platforming challenges. Players can also compete in mini-games like snowboarding and kart racing. Now, the camera can get a little out of sorts from time to time, but the nostalgic gameplay cancels out the frustrating camera. With its very stunning visuals, catchy soundtrack, and exciting gameplay, Sonic Adventure 2 is a must-play for fans of the Sonic series and platformers in general. This is definitely one of the games that the Sonic team got right. When it comes to puzzle games, I am a lot like Goldilocks. It has to be just right for me to want to play it, and Choo Choo Rocket hit the mark easily. Choo Choo Rocket is a charming puzzle game where you guide adorable little creatures called choo-choos through a series of mazes to reach their goal. By strategically placing directional blocks to their rockets, you'll create paths for the choo-choos to follow and send them soaring through the air. The game's simple yet addictive gameplay makes it easy to pick up and play. With a variety of levels, challenges, and multiplayer modes, Choo Choo Rocket offers endless hours of fun for players of all ages. There's just something about Choo Choo Rocket that has this charm to it, and I could sit down and literally play this game for hours on end. And I think if you had a copy of it, you would too. It's just simply a great game, and it's a ton of fun. She's Pac-Man's lady, and she knows how to bring it to the gaming table, especially in this action-adventure maze chase quest from Namco. They took what worked from Pac-Man World and added even more to the pot to come up with a beautifully charming game that has stood the test of time without even taking a breath. Even though it was released on the PS1 and N64, those versions lack several things that the Dreamcast version does not. Firstly, the 128-bit graphics are so much sharper than the other two versions, so Dreamcast wins hands down here. Now, I'm not sure what it was, but it seems to me that the music seems to stand out more on the Dreamcast, and in all honesty, I know it's my nostalgia talking here because I own all 3 versions and my preference is still the Dreamcast. The witch Mesmerelda is about to steal all 4 gems of virtue to control Pac-Land. Professor Pac allows Ms. Pac-Man to journey to the four corners of Pac-Land via his invention, the Pactrometer. There are over 100 challenging mazes to navigate, you'll outsmart ghosts, and collect power-ups to survive. Ms. Pac-Man Maze Madness is worth a run through again and again and again. No matter which version you choose, you will have chosen wisely. Unless you choose a version that's not the Dreamcast version, because then you'd be wrong. Another game that I immediately bought after playing it at Flashback Video Games is Mr. Driller. Released in 1999 by Namco, this endearing puzzle arcade game is very addictive and keeps you on your toes the whole time you're playing. Now, a fun tidbit, originally Namco meant for Mr. Driller to be Dig Dug 3 for the home console market, but it was turned into an arcade game so they could make some quick cash, and Mr. Driller was born. As the titular Mr. Driller, you control a drilling machine and use various techniques to break through colorful blocks and avoid deadly obstacles to reach the bottom of the screen. You have to make sure you destroy the blocks piling up before they ruin the city. And as you drill, you'll have to be sure to replenish your oxygen supply with air capsules found throughout the underground. You can pass hours and hours away playing Mr. Driller because it's very addictive, and I have sat there 4 hours playing Mr. Driller myself, plunging my way down through the blocks on my way to nowhere. The game is available on multiple consoles now, but if you have a Dreamcast, Mr. Driller is a great add to your collection. Atari and Midway Games released Gauntlet Legends in the arcades in 1998, and by 2000 the Dreamcast port was released, and it's the most faithful port of the arcade game by comparison to the N64 and PlayStation versions. With 4 ports on your Dreamcast at the ready, you and up to 3 friends can hack and slash through the levels simultaneously. Unlike its arcade predecessors, Legends is a 3D graphics masterpiece and even was considered ahead of its time. You may choose one of 4 character types, and you can even pick a different outfit color for each so you and a friend can both be warriors, but you can tell one another apart on screen. Your characters are on a quest to find the 13 rune stones and defeat the end bosses in the 4 kingdoms in order to destroy the demon Scorn in the underworld. You may upgrade your characters with more weapons and potions with the gold and treasures you plunder. Now, I have the N64, PS1, and Dreamcast versions, and yes, the Dreamcast version, of course, is far superior. However, if you want an even more beautiful and expanded version of the game, Gauntlet Dark Legacy on PS2, GameCube, and OG Xbox is the same game with... Thank you, Billy Idol. Even though you can get the expanded version on other consoles, the Dreamcast port of Gauntlet Legends is simply gorgeous and should be in your Dreamcast collection.
Soul Calibur.
Namco flexed their muscles a lot in the arcade and then on the Dreamcast, and Soul Calibur was another reason I wanted a Dreamcast. So I bought my copy from Flashback Video Games the same day I bought Toy Commander. Thanks, Pete! Soul Calibur is a legendary weapon-based fighting game that pits legendary warriors from different time periods and cultures against each other in epic battles. Each character, of course, has their own unique fighting style and weapon, from swords and spears and axes and more. I really like Voldo. Now, as you can tell, he's powerful, very unique, and just plain frickin' weird. So what's not to love about him? The game's deep combat mechanics allows players to perform a variety of attacks, combos, and special moves. You can also customize your character's appearance and equipment, making each playthrough unique. The visuals are just stunning. The story is immersive, and modern-day online multiplayer, even in 2024, yes, you can do it. Soul Calibur is a must-play for fans of fighting games and action-packed adventures. Voldo, buddy, you're weird, but gosh, I love ya. In this previous video collaboration with several YouTube friends, we talked about games that we had great nostalgia for. Now, I mentioned this next game, Sega Marine Fishing, and this is my original copy and my original Dreamcast fishing controller. Now, back in the summer of 2001, my eldest son Cameron and I used to play Sega Marine Fishing, and he was actually quite good. That's my eldest son when he was about 2 playing Sega Marine Fishing. Cameron loved playing that game by himself, with help of course, or with his pap-pap, my dad, who is no longer with us. And that's me before I got my fake PhD and little Cameron letting me help him catch a whopper of a fish. Well, that little boy isn't little anymore, and I wish that little one could play that game with me just one more time. But time moves on, children grow up and move away, and sometimes families change too. I am now remarried, and my wife and I now have this lovely little girl. Close! You're close!
Oh
You're very close! Right by the boat! You got it!
no! Yes! I got it! I got it! I got that giant fish!
Great barracuda. 76 pounds.
Whoa, I got giant barracuda.
Weighs more than you.
To get another one. Ooh, this one looks pretty.
Oh, this one looks pretty. You're gonna throw like a Barbie in there?
Yeah.
She catches a plastic shark named Bruce. Sega Marine Fishing is my favorite game on the Dreamcast for obvious reasons. It's got an arcade flair with pumping music, but for me specifically, it's a lot more than that. My two sons and I used to play it together, and I used to play it with my dad, as did they when they were little. And now I'm playing it with my daughter. The Dreamcast deserved more than the fate it received, and for those of us who love the console, we remember the great games that made the console what it was and what it still is. Some may say, it's just a video game. I say, nah, it's more than a video game. It's magic, because only magic can create moments like this 23 years apart.
Bye.
Thank you for watching the Season 4 premiere of Game Closet. Subscribe and stick around for a while. Click on one of the video links below for more video game shenanigans here inside Dr. Scott's Game Closet. We'll see you all very, very soon.